All right, what up, world? What up?
Yo.
It's me, your boy Andre X. I'm here with my guy Knight.wav, the guy behind the wall, and our special sweet guest, who is Sun Aries and a Moon Italian spice.
That was mad cute and mad close, but Aries moon, Aquarius sun, Cancer rising. Period.
Amanda Shea. Thank you. What a fucking intro. Who does that?
That was the best one ever.
That was ill. That was probably the best intro. We should definitely keep that in the book, so I know I did something like that, so I can talk about it later and be like, yo, you're fucking good. So we have Amanda Shea here. We're gonna talk about woman perspective because we hardly get some and we need some.
Yes.
All right. And you know how the beginning of the show goes. Grab your rolling trays, get your papers, grab your Fanta leaves, grab your old mans, whatever the fuck you do. Take the Netflix off for a second and watch us. And while you're watching us, press this button right here. Bloop. Subscribe, motherfuckers. Anyways, 5 minutes. Let's go. So first 5 minutes we roll up and we talk about how we are tied to marijuana and how marijuana has affected our lives in a good and a positive way, or in a bad way, or in a way that taught you something that, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this shit. We like to ask our guests what's their relationship with that world, if you can.
I can actually.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Awesome.
My relationship with weed. Wow. It's been a long time.
Okay.
Probably the longest relationship I've ever had.
Wow, that's deep. I like that.
Yeah, nah, seriously. It's a good one though. I think I like sativa's my strand. I know that's not really particularly people's thing to do. I know most people are like an indica or a hybrid, but sativa is great for me. It's a really good space to just relax the mind, the body, write some shit, you know?
It freaks me out a little bit. It makes me like edgy.
It depends on what strand for me with that.
What's your strand?
A sativa, but if
I'm saying I'm sorry.
What one kind of makes me freak out?
Yeah.
It depends. So I think it depends in like potency rather than like strain, right?
Yeah.
Like I like indica, I like hybrid, but sometimes they can be just too powerful.
Too hybrid. I mean, too indica. Yeah.
Yeah, the balance.
Yeah,
it's not there.
It's not, and like sometimes I can freak out. I don't do edibles for that reason either. Just because you can't control it.
Edibles don't hit me, yo. I don't know what the fuck.
Do
I need to change my stomach, bro?
Nah, it's just different. Huh?
It all depends on the person. Fatty acids. Like it has to be able to break down the THC because the THC sticks to your fatty acids.
That's real, and like your tolerance, I'm assuming would also play a big key in that.
But it's a different high. It's more of a body than just like head.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I don't have a body.
But also like it's going through your bloodstream.
Well, yeah.
It is like a direct shot. So I don't know.
If you wanted to hit quicker, just brush your teeth because then your gums will open. And then it goes into your bloodstream. Bang.
How do you even know that?
You sound like a fucking weird scientist we never knew.
What can I say?
How do you know that?
I'm a genius.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Anytime, buddy.
Yes. I know.
What'd you say?
So thank you for that perspective we didn't know we needed.
Wait, we can't just skip over that. Was that like the Blair Witch Project? Why was that on?
I don't even know what's on right now.
That was wild crazy. Did you see that? It was totally the Blair Witch Project. It is.
Have you guys seen the Blair Witch Project? You know what she's talking about?
I totally have.
Yo, I swear to God, yo.
They made so much money.
One more. Just one
I'm
more.
asking.
You are on one today, bro. What do you think? We're
Yes.
fucking idiots?
No,
We're
I mean-
American. Of course you see the
What do
fucking
you
Blair
mean?
Witch
I
Project.
mean,
It
what?
don't mean anything.
You know that the
American.
person that made the Blair Witch Project is Mexican? Did you know that?
Is he?
Do you know the witch they were looking for was Puerto Rican? Did you know that?
Was it?
What was the name?
Samantha.
Hey. Did you just make it Puerto Rican by saying that?
I have a cousin named Samantha.
Maybe.
She's not a witch.
That's
though, but,
great.
But I love my cousin Samantha. She has a couple of kids. She has twin daughters, which are beautiful. They're hilarious.
Twins are rare.
Yeah, man. They're fraternal, but they're very alike. Very alike. It's very funny. Yeah, man. Sativa. It always makes me like what the fuck was that? You know, like it always makes me do that. I fucking don't like that. You know, like I hear things that like extra, you know? And maybe it's because that's what sativa does. It makes you focus a lot more and like get you like, I'm not, you know? But I'm just like, fuck, I can't deal with that. Like I can hear the drip from the drain and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
I love that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn, that's weird.
I don't think so. I feel like for me, I like meditation.
Yeah, I like that.
So
too.
like I have like water fountains and things in my room. So like just hearing the water and things and being able to clear my mind like is a beautiful experience.
That's dope.
Sober doesn't bother me. Sober doesn't bother me.
I like it even sober.
Yeah,
it's just a way of mellowing you out real fast.
My mom bought me this like tongue drum.
Oh, I have one of those.
Yeah,
I love those.
Yeah, because I told her I was I'm really into Sadhguru. You know what that is?
Yes, I do actually.
Oh man, I'm so like he's such like a mind blowing
That's
person.
so crazy. I literally was just like watching a performance on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Like not even that long ago. Yeah. That music is different. It's so beautiful. So the tongue drum.
The tongue drum, yeah. So the tongue drum, yeah, she bought it to me, man, and I played it a couple times, and I took it with me on a camping trip, and like it really sets the mood, man. It really puts you in like the frequencies it hits, you know what I mean? It really like, oh, okay, I understand this part. But you have to be in tune. If you're not in tune, like with like your core, like, you know what I mean? If you're not centered, it's gonna be hard to connect with those frequencies because you're all over the place. It's hard to even catch a frequency, you know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. I mean,
I like tongue drums and sound bowls a lot.
Sound bowls, yeah.
Yeah, the sound bowls. Those hit.
These are all frequencies that put you in the state of mind to meditate or hope.
Yeah, I feel like meditate.
They put you at ease. Yeah.
Zen.
Yeah, zen. Zen's a good word for
focus,
it.
Yeah. Regroup, connect. Like it's important to be able to be inside the body, you know, and be able to be still inside the body.
And to understand that that's a thing, that you can be outside your body and you can be inside your body.
No, that's real.
Yeah, people don't understand that part. They're like, I saw my daughter yesterday. I took a walk with her. We went to a Family Dollar to buy a fucking fan. And we're talking, and I'm explaining to her that, do you know that you're two different things? You're not just this one thing. You're two different things that combine to be this one thing, and that's what makes you you. And I try to explain to her the inside, which is your soul, and this fucking thing that I went like this. I'm like, and this thing that you're fucking you're trapped in. And I'm like, you're in a machine, you know what I mean? And you're controlling the machine, and like what the inside feels affects the outside, and people on the outside can see it if you don't, you know what I mean? If you don't know how to control that.
How old is she?
10.
Oh wow.
No, I talked to my daughter like you know.
That's
like,
beautiful.
Yeah, I talked to her like that because I'm teaching her to open her mind to possibilities and not just be programmed by what's going on.
Absolutely.
Like, cool, you want to have a phone? Cool. Put the phone down for a second. Let's take a walk to the store where you can't be on your phone because you're going to trip. You're going to hit, you know what I mean? So
right.
And I use those moments to talk to her. And she listens. And I told her the other day, I'm like, yo, whenever your mom gets mad at you, I want you to say, Mom, you got to love yourself more. She's probably going to get slapped.
Yeah,
but
right.
I told her, that, you know, I want her to approach people like that. Like don't approach people with more anger. Approach them with love. Start with love first and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's real. That's real.
The consequence of the love will be their fault, not yours. You know what I mean? It'd be their problem, not their fault. It'd be their problem, not yours. If you start with love, anything that comes after that towards you from someone else is not your problem because you started with love, with pure love, not like fucking, oh, here's $20,000, nigga. I love you. Like, no, it's not love, nigga. That's money. Yeah. Like, you gotta show and prove.
Yeah. Sure. It's like how our last podcast, we talked about that. It was how you brought up, with love or not. Some people don't know how it feels.
Yeah.
And we do,
That's
and then we
true.
expect others to feel the same way, and they don't. But
And everyone has a love language, and you know?
Absolutely. And you have to learn that.
You know? I say potatoes, you say patatas.
really?
Potatoes.
I say batata.
Yeah, you know, we Dominican. I know how it feels. So, yo, no, let's get, on this show, what we want to get, through people is like, yo, this isn't like a show that we want to talk about like what you do all the time. That's cool. Like the things you've done are cool, and I understand. But I want to talk about like who you are. Because sometimes a lot of it starts there. Like you're not a gimmick. You are a person, and you've done some things. I've been to a couple of events that you've done, and we're a part of, and you always like rock it. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And well, at least when I say that, I mean like your voice is heard.
Thank you.
You know, when you're in a room, I hear you. So
thank you. I appreciate that. And I like that you clarified that too, because it's like one thing to be seen, but it's a whole nother thing to be heard.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard, you know, like people see me around here a lot bouncing around and they're like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, y'all have no idea.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's not just work, but it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of engagement and interaction with folks.
Yeah.
And like when you're traveling too, that also adds on to that. People assume because you're booked like in a whole nother state that you're just like getting all this like welcoming love, and like you don't know that until you get there. You know what I mean? You're going to a space that you're not from, that nobody knows you. You're literally dolo. You know what I mean? And
that must be tough.
And it can be like really, really difficult. Luckily, I've had really good experiences. I only had one weird experience being out of the state, but other than that, like they've all been love, but it's still hard. I don't want to say because then that would be a dead giveaway.
Can we guess?
I'm not going to shade nobody. No, I'm going to just say the energy was just weird. It was a good time, but the energy was just, it was just weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
And you.
Wasn't natural.
No, and like you interact with that sometimes from time to time, you know what I mean? And the beautiful thing was the ending of that weird exchange. I ended up getting an Uber later that night, and I was heading out. I was about to catch my flight, and what the Uber woman said to me was just so insightful. And it was like, I just felt like in that moment, like that was like God speaking through her. And some of the things that she said that I don't really want to share because then it will also give away.
Why?
Because I think
because
that
it'll give away where the place was.
I feel like
Okay,
and it was also sacred. You know what I mean? I feel like that message was for me.
Just for you.
I'm
glad you have shared that though. Thanks for the insight of what we can't know now.
Okay, well,
she
basically,
goes, yo, she did something. She
I'll give you the gist.
She dropped a gem, but I can't share with you.
I'll give you the gist.
Too much shine.
I'll give you the gist. Basically, she was saying that sometimes when you go to a space, like that is part of like your conditioning, that is part of your purpose, right? It's like getting you prepared to be in spaces where you're going to be uncomfortable, but that's also an opportunity to grow. And not only that, but still be the shining light that you are, even in a space of darkness.
I knew it was going to be a good interview. I love people that talk like this, yo.
But it's true. Like, and
it is true.
And for me, like in that moment, it was like, wait, what? And I was like, still be you, basically. Like I was my authentic self the entire time, and you know, on a regular basis, I'm my authentic self. It's just weird to say, but like I was just being my authentic self, and I felt like they didn't understand it, and that's okay. But like in the midst of them not understanding, there was some disrespectful things and rude things that were done and said in that space too. And my thing is like, even if I don't understand somebody or I don't like agree with something, I'm not gonna disrespect you or be rude to you, because like that's your opinion and that's how you feel. So it is what it is.
Was it like was a situation like a wrong or right thing? Like
no, not at all. It was very much energy. It was energy. I think sometimes like you walk into a space and if people can't like categorize you or figure you out, it can be very like confusing or intimidating, or maybe bring up some things inside them where they start projecting towards you.
That's true.
It's crazy. The word projection, I've heard that like 9 times today. Yeah. I say it a lot to people, like stop projecting. Like instead of saying stop hating, I say stop projecting. You know what I mean?
And it's true.
Switching the way I talk about it.
Attraction and all that. It's part of it.
And I felt very alone on that trip. Like that was the first time I had ever like left the state and went somewhere else and was like, damn, like I'm alone out here, like by myself. It had never hit me that hard before too. So I think there was just a lot of different shifts within that day that happened. But then when I met that type of energy, I was like, ooh, what is this? And it made me feel like, you know, I had to take a step back.
That mix nice.
Yeah, and the transition was fire too. I heard it.
My fault. He got me.
Now you fine, but it was just like that. Like, it was energy, but it was still a learning. It was a learning opportunity. I like to think that some growth came out of that trip.
Yeah, that was the part of it. That was the whole point.
Basically,
guess, you know?
Right?
Yeah,
the universe tested you. The
it
universe
wasn't
tested
even
you.
for the thing I thought I was going
Yeah,
for.
the universe
Something
does that though.
way different.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Here's a question: when do you start, like, as like in a female perspective? When did you start understanding like energy is important? You know, it took a long time for me to understand energy. Like maybe in my 30s, I started understanding what energy really means. You know, and how to protect your energy and how to gain from being uncomfortable with that energy that you're around. You know what I mean? Because some people protect their energy so much that they're afraid to be around. Like, you know, like
isolate.
For instance, the instance you were in right now. Imagine that you that traumatized you, and now you'll never go to another place by yourself. Is that true, or do you still go to other places?
I look at everything as its own experience. I don't think that is really like circumvented around gender though, or like a certain. I think everybody has a perspective in that.
Yeah. No. I'm just asking. No, of course.
No,
but we just keep getting male perspectives. I want to know, like, because the thing is, here's the difference. Me, as like the fears I would have as a man, right, in this world, going somewhere, I don't have the same kind of fears that a lot of women would have. Because
I see what,
because
yeah, no, I see where you,
and all this other weird shit happens,
okay,
right?
so now I understand.
So that's what I'm asking. That perspective.
That's clarity for me. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry.
No, because I was just like, wait, I don't subscribe to.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I'm a non-binary person, so when you say
yeah.
female, I'm like, huh? And when you say female, I'm like, huh?
I meant more the situation of how the world perceives.
Like a woman's perspective. Yeah, like I get it. I think for me.
We should ask about pronouns when we get here, by the way. We should start doing that.
She, hers, and thank you.
Yeah, just make sure, because, you know.
Now you should, because that's a part of like respecting people for real. Especially if you don't know them like on a personal level. Mm-hmm. It's just a form of respect, to be honest. I think for me, I lived a lot of my life in fear. I have been sexually assaulted. I have been taken advantage of in a lot of different ways when I was younger. So I always knew like I could be susceptible to that. It also made me cover up for a really long time and be, you know, ashamed of like my body or showing my body, if you will, or even just being comfortable in my body. And I've come to a place now where there's so many things that we could fear in this world, being woman, being black, being queer, being mother, being any of the labels that you want to put or subscribe to yourself. Like, we could all be in fear. I don't think, you know, I think traveling anywhere in this day and age in this society is alarming for and unsafe for anybody, because you really just don't know. But I don't allow that to stop me from doing things. Like, at the end of the day, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. Like, I don't have control over, you know, the outside entities or how the world or what's gonna happen. I can only control my reaction to it and be also aware and keep my head on a swivel, as we say in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And just be on not high alert, but just be aware of my surroundings. And I think that that's something that I've had to do, being black, being queer, being woman, you know. So I'm already accustomed to doing that, if you will. I'm conditioned already. So, and also, like, I don't believe in fear. Like, I really don't. Yeah, like, I don't believe in fear. Anything that like even starts to scare me, I'm gonna go face it head on. I'm what they call like a wounded healer. Like, I've been through so much shit in my life. Like, I'm happy that I'm still here, like being able to even have this conversation with you right now. So what I do is I basically turn all of the shit that I've been through, I process it and turn my pain into purpose and try to help not only heal myself, but also heal others through the process. So for me, there is
lead by example, man.
What is there to fear when you have come up to some of the most grotesque and seen some really violent and heavy things? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, let's just live. And again, like I circumvent things, I silo things into experiences, if you will. Like that's an experience. That was that experience. Me traveling there and feeling that energy was just that. Right. That doesn't mean that that's going to travel into anywhere else. And if I go to the next space and there's some weird energy, that's okay too. Like it's its own experience. I can't sum that up and generalize that to everywhere and everybody.
But you learned from that. You
Absolutely.
feel the energy. Nah, never mind. Boom,
yeah,
boom.
I went
That's
and
it.
did what I needed to do. I connected with the souls that I needed to connect with, and I took my ass home.
And
That's
you disconnected from the ones you didn't need to connect with.
I mean, period. But again, like I feel like we got to give people grace too, because
everybody.
I don't know what that energy was. That's not my responsibility to take that on and try to dissect where that was coming from. Who did it come from? Why did it feel like that? What is going? Like, nah. Like I know I was cool. I checked in with self. Like, are you good? Yeah, okay, but you still feel all right, cool. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I gotta just kind of like let that be that and understand that maybe that energy was weird because there was something else going on that I'm not gonna ever be privy to. Like you said earlier, like we can't assume, right? So it's like I don't want to assume nothing about anything. It was weird. That's the best way I could describe it. I could go back and it might not be weird. You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh shit, it was just. But I'm not gonna ignore what I felt either. I'm gonna acknowledge that.
That's good. I'm glad people are becoming more aware of like what's going on instead of being oblivious to it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, oh, just brush it off. Like a lot of the times too, other people's energy. Like I've noticed like when you start becoming, it's like okay, how about this? Here's an example. It's like when you stop drinking. Right? And then you start going out with your friends again, but you don't drink. And then you start seeing that side of them. Right? It's like once you start doing the work to like fix your energy and start becoming centered, the more you meditate, the more those bad energies start hitting you to see if you are really centered or not. Yeah. That's why I said the universe is testing you.
Yeah.
You know? And the other reason why I was asking about the fear thing is this is because the narrative that I hear from the female side of things, you know, is the
woman.
Oh, woman. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
The woman side of things is like, you know, like men are making it harder for women to go places sometimes, you know, because we're fucking. Some of them are disgusting. You know what I mean? But
yeah, no. I mean, I feel like, the same could be said about, you know, trans women. You know, we don't put that in perspective either when we talk about the safety of women's bodies or women or people who identify as such. It's like, for me, I feel like there's lack of safety for all of us. We're all grouped in that category. And we don't talk about that enough as much as we talk about, you know, the violence on women. We don't talk about our trans women as well. Those are our sisters, and they are also victims to, I don't like to use the word victim spirits, like stop saying victim, survivors of said violence or not survivors and becoming unalived by the hands of these men who have this aggressive viewpoint or whatever the cis hetero normative brainwashing of society has done to them to make them feel as though they can exert that type of power or aggression or control over other people's bodies.
Yeah, I had a conversation the other day with somebody about this, and we were talking about they were like, damn, there's just so many like LGBTQ everything everywhere now, and I'm like, yo, understand that you see a lot of that now, but imagine how many of that has been hidden for years, and now people are now we're allowing people to be free, and now you guys have a fucking problem with it still.
I mean,
I'm
but
like,
liberation for some people. I just think if everybody just like minded their business and drank their water,
mind your fucking
like
business.
Mind your business and drink your
Do your
water,
thing,
like
that's it.
everybody would be in a better space.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
sometimes we pay too much attention to like what's going on in other people's worlds.
Do you think that has to do a lot with people not loving themselves enough,
I don't know if it's
or centering
love.
themselves enough to understand?
I think it could be a plethora of
Beyond that,
things.
yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
a plethora of things, you know. A lot of people are walking around with trauma and unhealed wounds that they haven't even
Facts.
began to process. I was one of those people. So like when I'm talking right now, people are like, oh, no, I did a lot of work to get here. I wasn't always a pleasant person. I was very nasty inside, like for real, and was really shitty to people and did a lot of shitty things to people. And like, that's not good. I believe in karma, and I believe that I had to learn in the ways I had to learn. And I lost a lot of people, friendships, family, things like that, that made me learn. Unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way. Sometimes some people are stubborn, and we don't see ourselves or want to see ourselves. So I give everybody grace, because I don't know what people are going through or what demons they're battling or what insecurities they're facing or what your presence does to somebody's spirit. Like, I can't control that or even think about that. All I can be mindful of is that I have to understand, like, I'm engaging with that. Number one. And number two, like, what is my energy? Because like they say, like, you just smile at people, it could change their whole day. We don't know what people are going through. So I feel like we could be the reflection we kind of want to see,
Yeah.
Yo, I just want to say that you've grown so much. You don't remember me because I was going by another name before. It was KR before. And this is before I seen you in skates, right? And I feel like the skates have a lot to do with the new, like, the rebirth, or like the growth part of you,
I like that.
Because I want to tell you, the reason why you probably don't remember me is because you did give me a shitty attitude.
I did?
Yes, but it wasn't because you were mad at me or anything. You were just mad at a situation at a show or something. People fuck up all the time, and you were just not having it, and you were really like, I was like, yo, this is a person that I just want to not talk to right now. So, but to see, to have you come on the show, and like, I saw you the other day at the other place, and like, I can see the light. I can feel it and see it, and I was like, yo, we have to get her on the show. This will be dope. I mean, wow. I know they approached you about it, but this is something that I was already like, yo, this is something we got to do.
It's funny because
the growth work is there.
Energy. So, okay, peep game. So now that we're talking about that night, I felt everybody's energy, but I felt very like, I don't want to say you were standoffish, but you were definitely keeping your distance. Mm-hmm. We were all sitting like just like we are right now, but you were the only one, and you were at the end, who was kind of like this. Do you remember you were there that night? You were sitting right next.
Yeah, he was there.
But he was more like this. And everybody else was more engaging and like would join the conversation every now and again, but not really you.
I was high.
Okay, good.
He was high as
They
fuck.
gave us weed when we got there, and
they
so
totally
it's your fault.
Yeah.
Simple.
First of all,
plain.
no.
It's
that's Sai and them's fault.
Well, that's what I meant. No, I looked at the camera. I didn't look at you. I looked at them.
That's them.
Yeah,
that's
them.
them.
It looked like him. That's why I thought.
Nah, but they in retrospect, like we did like give out.
Yeah, I know that shit. It was a great gesture, but I was like, damn, man. Last time someone gave me weed, you know what? Let me give you a story. I went to go see.
Well, wait, real quick.
Oh, ahead,
I'm really sorry for treating you like shit.
Oh no, you
at
do
a
not
show.
have to be sorry because.
No, but I am like I still want to apologize for that because I don't remember that moment, but you do.
It was very brief. It wasn't like a long.
But even so, like even to be able to come full circle moment and be sitting here because you were like, yo, I don't even want to talk to this person.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean about energy. It could be that moment, and I'm glad that you have discernment to be able to be like, yo, this ain't really even my energy though. Like she's mad at something else that's going on.
Oh, I've learned that a long time.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, thank you for giving me grace even in that moment and not like
course.
wilding back.
Because I was in your presence many other times. I'm just I play the back. You know what I mean? Because I'm usually with like a term or like a Rex, and they're already like the life of the party when they walk in. So I just stand
Shout
back.
out
You know
to
what I
Term
mean?
and Rex.
Yeah. So like I'm usually with like that kind of circle of people, and so like that's why I always play the back. You know, I've been in Big Time Bullies for a long time.
Yeah.
I won 2 Hoop Hop championships.
Yeah. Yo, shout out Bakari.
You know what I mean? Shout out Bakari, JB,
JB,
and everyone on the team on Hoop Hop and all that. You know what I mean? So just me saying those things, I know that we've been in the same circle somehow, right?
Yes,
all right. Because me and Bakari are like that's my brother for life. Whatever
That's
he
my
needs,
guy.
he calls me. I need something, I call him. He's my brother.
So are you playing this year?
I don't know because I have a new company and we are busy like motherfuckers. But maybe we'll shoot. Maybe we'll go and shoot that day. You know what I mean?
Come on, you gotta pull up.
Yeah, man.
Gotta pull up.
Yeah.
That's gonna be lit.
Yeah. So I wanted to get back to the skates.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to you talk about, and it hit me. It fucking hit me. When you were talking about, I used to have a shitty attitude, and then your growth happened, and I'm like, damn, I remember seeing her do something that I don't normally see people do anymore, and it was skating. And I was like, wow, and you're pretty good at it too.
Yo, thanks.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
low key, I'm not.
No?
Nah, I feel like that's just for the gram. Like,
yeah? Whoa, then
For
you
the
fucking
gram.
play. Oh, for the gram. Okay.
Like,
You
dead
did a
ass,
good job. You did a good
it
job.
just looks like that because I think a lot of people forgot how to skate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
It's a
feel
lost
like
art.
It's a lost
Yeah.
art. So I feel like when they see me, they're like, oh shit. But like low key, if you go to Shea.wav,
What's that?
oh yeah, that's right, y'all are. So Shea.wav is
What do you mean?
is a roller skating rink in Mattapan, like
we got
black
something
owned.
around here like
Oh,
that.
Mattapan?
Too. Open up like.
I think
Wait,
I've been
who
to
just
Mattapan.
said that? Wait, who's talking?
That's the guy behind the wall.
Oh, okay.
Guy behind the wall.
It's like, wait, I
Yeah.
don't see none of y'all's mouths moving.
Nah, he
behind
just
me.
woke up. He just woke up.
Okay.
My bad, I just woke up from a nap.
Nah, you're fine. But yeah, Shea.wav is lit. And if you go there, first of all, Manny
Okay,
Beats is not only a DJ, but my guy is like
Usher on the skates.
is like Usher. Not actually better than Usher. Like it's like water. Like watching him on skates is
Wow,
like,
I like
water.
that.
Like it's so smooth. Everybody there knows how to skate. They be doing formations, all of that,
That's
all
dope,
of
man.
the line, all of that. I'm not like that at all. I still have the stoppers on the
Oh,
front.
shit.
I have my brakes on the front of the skate still. Like if you know, you know. If I was a skater, those wouldn't even be on there because you can't even do the spins like that. You can't do the toe.
okay.
You can't do none of that with the stoppers on. So I have to tell people, but thank you for thinking that I'm like that great. But it's a facade.
Did it have something to do with the growth part? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that's what I'm condemning you for. The skate part
Not
is
condemning,
cool.
praising me.
Praising you. My
not
bad. My
condemning.
bad. I'm
Like
sorry.
you condemning me
Yes.
for skating, bro. You
Yeah,
just
my
pick me
bad.
up.
My
No,
bad.
you're fine. You're fine. It's the
Sometimes
It's the weed.
no, it's not the weed. Sometimes I
No,
think
no.
like
It's
I'm
the
trying to.
weed.
It's
no,
the weed.
Nah.
Sometimes I'm trying to talk smart and I'm just not.
No, you are very smart.
Yo,
Don't
but-
talk about yourself like that.
But-
He knows better.
but yeah, then you guys got me. I'm gonna cry. Yo,
That's not what we want to happen.
why not? I'm a releaser. I release. Look at how
I
much
love you
tears I
so-
got in these eyes. You see this shit? Look at this shit. I release it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nah,
I
I mean-
like that.
Nah, I cry all the
but that's
time.
real though. That's
cry all the
I don't
time.
want to laugh at that. That's real.
No, you can
So-
laugh at it. I love laughing.
But now
Laughing's releasing too.
skating definitely got me back right. I went through a really tumultuous. See, I can't even.
Yeah, you said something that made sense,
a
and I was like,
tumultuous.
it sounded like an instrument.
I had a really rough year that I picked up skates. I think we were all coming out of the pandemic. I was coming off of a really, really just a relationship. And I was going through like the most like at that time. And I felt like I was talking to my therapist, and I give her all the glory for this idea because it wasn't really me. We were just talking about, I said I wanted to move my body. I felt like at that point in time that I had a lot of trauma in my hips, and I was just holding all of this trauma. And I was like, I want to do movement. Like I want to get out and do something. But every time I thought about it, I'm like, I don't like going to the gym. What are the things that I used to like to do when I was a kid? And the conversation was basically like, yeah, I like gymnastics, but I'm like, I'm not trying to go do no flips or nothing at my big old age right now.
Yeah, man, it's possible.
I was
It's
like,
gonna hurt
nah.
later, but
I mean, yeah. So I was like, yeah, nah. And then she was like, well, what else did you like to do? Like bike riding. She started naming all these things, and I'm like, yeah, I used to do that. I used to do this. I used to do that. But then it was roller skates. Like we landed on roller skating, and I was like, yo,
did you still have a pair?
no. And I was like, yo.
Who has a pair, man? No,
I was
You
like,
gotta
I
have-
gotta.
my father has a pair. And
I mean,
I
obviously
didn't have a
your dad,
pair on
you know.
deck. At that point, I didn't skate for like 15, 16 years. So like picking up the skates, I was like, first time out though, I sprained my pinky finger. Low key, high key.
Oh man.
Yeah, nah, I messed my whole
Did
John
you put a
up.
helmet on at least?
Nah, I didn't put no knee pads, no shoulder pads, no helmet, no nothing. I just went out there raw.
Bongs.
And not for nothing, but I did mess myself up a couple times. But you get back up. It's like
dust
life.
yourself off and try again. Try
it.
again.
That's it. Or you could get that dirt off your shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
Or the blood if you're wearing those kind of sleeves.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Which has happened. Which has definitely happened.
Scraped it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I fell a couple times and I felt it for a while. But it's like life. If it knocks you down, you still got to get back up and keep going.
Yeah,
so
man.
now I feel like I'm doing a lot better with it. But it really started out as a release, and she challenged me. She was just like, yo, why don't you, because I was like, when do I have the time to do roller skating? Like, adulting and being like, I don't have the time. And it's like, well, there's 24 hours in the day. And then I started to debate back. And I'm like, actually, there's only 12 hours in the day. And there's 12 hours in the night. Because if they told you there was only 12 hours in the day, you wouldn't want to spend your whole 8 hours at a job, right? Period. So with that being said, I was like, I feel like
mind blowing to some people right now.
I just feel like there's not enough time. And she was just like, an hour. Just try 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
just
man.
try it.
Sacrifice an hour of sleep.
Yo, an hour turned into 2 hours, turned into 3 hours. Like I was out there every single day. Now I fell off again recently because I've been performing so much, but I definitely want to get back into a regimen where, I can do it again. I'm teaching during the summer as well, so my schedule's a little compact, but we got to figure it out. Yeah, that's definitely my therapy. Outside of therapy.
Yeah, time is against us all, man. Not against us all, but like it's more valuable than anything, and like, and like we really gotta like reevaluate what we're gonna do with our time, man. You know what I mean? Are we gonna waste time fucking watching Netflix, or can we go outside and go skate for a couple hours?
I mean that part, or read a book.
I suck at reading books.
Can y'all just read for 10 minutes?
I'm getting better at it.
Just 10 minutes.
Something.
You'd be surprised.
You'll learn.
10 minutes. Just 10 minutes.
I read on my phone.
Read the 4 agreements.
I mean, reading on your phone is cool whatever. Read something. I just feel like 10 to 15 minutes a day is actually not a long time. You could literally do it while you're sitting on the toilet. Like it is not that deep. Like you could literally, that was a pun, but not without trying to be a pun. But I'm just saying, like you could just, read for 10 to 15 minutes a day and like build off of that. I feel like anything you do becomes habitual after a while, becomes routine. You don't even think about it. It's all just training your brain to be, like you said, we're robots wearing this, right? We're controlling this. So it's like you could literally control and rewire yourself at any point in time. Just start.
Yeah, right.
With that being said, I'm not gonna say I quit, but I am done drinking.
Congrats.
I don't really drink a lot, but I didn't find it like I didn't feel good talking about growth and then drinking at the same time. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna start with that, and then I think I'm gonna end up doing the not smoking either.
Like sober mind.
Yeah, because I want to I want to grow for real, man. I feel like I'm spraying I'm detouring my growth when I'm smoking or when I'm drinking or when I need a vice to do something, I wasn't drinking on the show before, and then I started drinking on the show, and I realized drinking on the show was making me feel comfortable. I don't want to feel comfortable. I want to like today. For you to tell me, oh no, you corrected me a couple times already. Most people wouldn't appreciate that, right? But me, I love that, and that's what I want. And if I was drinking, I would have gave you a really funny remark, and for me, that's a defense system for me. And I don't want to keep doing that. And on top of that, a lot of people that we're meeting right outside of here are thinking that because the clips we put out are the funny ones, right? We're just trying to get people's attention. But I want to make it very clear, this is a growing show, Where are we? It's where are we for real? Where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? Where are you financially? Whatever works, whatever it is, And I hope people always come here and leave with something, some perspective that they didn't have before. Maybe they didn't need, even if it was a bad one. They're yeah, these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. Something, you know what I'm saying? But
growth,
you know what I mean?
That's pretty much the word.
And your growth is awesome, and
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
People, you never really know what people's perspective of you is.
Which is awesome.
It is.
The surprise is awesome because everyone has a different. Everyone has a different one.
The surprise is awesome, especially when it's a positive one. You know, I love that. I think that I think that's probably one of the reasons why like some people gravitate towards me is because I'm also not afraid of like showing all that. You know, I think we do ourselves a disservice sometimes with showing like the highlights of our life, or even sometimes being like, well, these are the down moments, but also like manufacturing what those look like too. It's like I don't have a fear of showing my whole self or saying that I'm wrong or saying that my mind has changed. Like I am a human being. I am a spiritual being living a very human experience. So I could come in here today and have a mindset about one thing and we could have a conversation and all of a sudden my mind changes. Does that make me a hypocrite? No, it just means that my mind has changed. I think we hold people sometimes too much to like where they're at that moment.
Or even where they used to be. Which
right.
Sucks, you know?
And like we don't give them the opportunity to evolve. We just cancel them out. You know, it's like, oh, well, they ain't shit. So like ostracize them. And it's like, but that's not real. And like, that's not reality. Like, what are we talking about? Like, people are able to make mistakes. And what I love to see and what's authentic to me and sincere is like watching somebody make mistakes, learn from their mistakes, become a better person, and like be cool as shit. Like, and have other people like learn from that experience too.
You kind of have to make mistakes. Otherwise, like, you're perfect and that makes no fucking sense.
I mean, they say they're losses, but they're really lessons.
Yeah, of course.
It's not an L. It's
Nothing
a
happens to you, it happens for you.
Ooh. Say that one more time.
Nothing happens to you, happens for you.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
You know? And thinking that way you'll stop victimizing yourself, you know? And you can conquer a lot more because you're not going to be that the fear of things are gone, you know? I don't know. I am trying to find a way to bring a lot of people in my community together to do things to grow, you know? Like I love to watch people be uncomfortable sitting in a circle of men and like even say their name out loud, you know, because they can't talk in front of people. And like I love that because at least I now I know your name because you said it, you know. Before I just thought, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why is he here? Then he's like, oh, my name's Joe, or like my name's fucking, I don't know.
Damn, Daniel.
Daniel, yeah, my name's Daniel or something, you know. And
It's okay.
is this off? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh shit, I think my mic was off. My bad.
You're fine. I could hear you. I don't know if the audience could hear you.
Yeah, no, I can hear myself now.
I keep like adjusting because I'm like, can you hear me?
But yeah, man. So speaking of that, like you're doing growth. How are you? Because you said you were a teacher, and I know that you have kids. How do you? Are you showing by example, or like, do you see that happening with them? Like, okay, they get it. Like the kids you teach, or even the kids. I'm sorry, not fucking. Even the kids that you raised. You know what I mean? Sorry. Even these fucking kids that you got. I teach too, so it's like all day, man. I love kids. That's why I'm so tan, because I was all day outside with the kids playing basketball. So.
I love that. Yeah. I would love to say that I see some of that. I actually had one of my youth hit me up.
Does that?
What the?
Sorry.
Wait, what was that?
I just burned myself like an idiot, like an Indian. I was like this. You know, you ever seen?
For why?
You ever seen the movie Coming to America?
Yes.
When they're having the dates?
Yes.
And then one of the days she's like, I speak to Lucifer or something like that. She was like, that's what I was just doing.
Like, why was you doing that, trying to light it though? I'm so.
You know why? Because I'm so used to lighting my blunts outside. I like have to hide the wind. You don't see me in here with no wind like this.
Hide the wind.
I just thought you might have didn't want to burn the microphone. Okay.
No, I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. It's habit.
It's a habit.
That was a habit.
It's
that
a
was
habit,
routine.
yeah.
That was routine.
We gotta kill those habits.
That was routine.
But yeah, back to it. Like, how do you do you notice the reflection of what you're doing too? You know what I mean?
I'd like to think so. Absolutely. I just got off of a call with one of my youth today, and there was a couple scenarios that like she was telling me about, and I was just like, wow, like But it was the way in which she handled it that I was like, okay, like I see what you did there, and I'm really proud of the way that she handled it. With my kids, I like to think so, yes, but believe it or not, like my kids are so honest with me.
Awesome.
That I feel like they be learning me, like, yeah, like it be like, my son checked me today. Like,
oh, what'd he say? Let's hear it.
Oh, I don't want to say it.
No.
Nah, I don't want to say it.
He checked you.
Nah, he checked me. He checked me. I don't want to say it because I don't want to say it. That was between me and him.
Was it checkmate?
Nah, like, I just had asked him a question and, you know, he kind of like spit that back to me, but it was like one of those like, touche. Like,
oh, okay, touche moment.
Touche moment, you know what I'm saying? But it was still a check in like how he did it, and I was just like, wow, like he's about to be 16. I already say they're 16 and 20, but because their birthdays are coming real soon. But for being 16 years old and having that discernment already, like, yeah, some people would be like, well, it's innate and some of it is like taught, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I also feel like every person is their own person. Yeah, we see things like, you know, parents being really good parents and the kid growing up and being a just off the chain, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I feel like he is just a really good person. And my oldest son, he's just a good soul. Like, he really thinks about other people, like, in really considerate ways. He's got his head on his shoulders. That's good, man. He knows what he wants. He knows what he doesn't want. He knows what he likes. He knows what he doesn't like. My 16-year-old's still trying to figure that out. He's on his way there, but like, my son is very like, yo, nah, this is what I want to do. This is, and it's very strategic. And I'm just like, I was not like that at 20 years old at all. In fact, I was literally like trying to still get through school and figure out my life.
Yeah.
It's different now.
It's way different.
We talked before.
Kids are like this,
technology,
like
everything, everything's accessible. It's so easy for us to just see it and just go with whatever we, you know.
And I got pregnant in my teens. Like, he in his 20s, he's good. He's got his, you know, he's just like, nah, like, that's not in my future right now. I'm very focused on like what I want. They both keep saying they don't want children, which is odd to
How
me.
was that for you having children as a teen? Like, did you have
hard.
a support system? Did you have it by yourself or?
Like, no. That's a whole story within and of itself. I'll just say this. You know, my son's fathers are really good fathers.
Awesome.
They've always been there for both of their kids. Unfortunately, I lost my husband 2 years ago, my youngest son's father.
My condolences.
Thank you. And that's been hard. That's probably the hardest thing that I've really ever went through in my entire life. And my parents were addicts, and I've gotten a lot of things done to me, and like that loss, I still can't even describe in words what that feels like, because it's just grieving 3 times over. It feels like you grieve for your children, and then you grieve for yourself, and then you also grieve for him not being able to be here. Long story short, my son's father was a really beautiful man, and unfortunately he was a chef, and unfortunately he had an accident at work where he mangled his hand in a pasta maker, and once that happened, it was just a downhill spiral that graduated into very heavy, a very heavy drug addiction that he battled for 5 years.
Wow. Man.
And I tell this story. Not to bring that energy in, but to speak life to his life, because he died from the addiction, from the sickness, from the illness. And what I want people to know the most is like, that wasn't his life prior to that, like, at all, and how real that can be and how serious it can graduate really, really quickly. And he battled for a really long time and had even gotten clean in the midst of that 5 years and was able to stay clean for 2 of them. But it's an everyday thing, you know, every moment. And, you know, that was hard for us. Like, it was really hard for us. And I think it's still hard for us. Like, I'm still grieving. I'm at the point now where I just feel like I can't cry anymore because every time, like, it was hard. And grieving isn't linear at all. Mm-mm. And it's really hard to watch a young person grieve like that and also, you know, miss out on a chance of being able to learn so much about who they are from someone that they come from.
Created them, yeah.
You know, like it was hard. And I think that also contributed a lot to like the person you see in front of you today too, where I learned a lot about grief and what it feels like and shutting down and isolation and guilt and shame and all of the things that come with that, but also like how people deal with you and mismanage you within that sometimes too. You know, and it wasn't just losing my husband, it was losing a lot of people at the same time too. So it was like, it was loss after loss after loss, and realizing that I had never grieved losses ever before in my life. Like when people passed away, like my grandmother, my great grandmother, my aunties, people close to me, like, yeah, I cried in the moment, but I don't think I processed all of that sadness that I felt. I think I just kept going on because trauma has taught me to just keep moving. Like, okay, that happened, so keep going, keep going. This time was the only time that I sat in it and just felt everything and even lost myself in it, you know, and had to find myself back, which was also really hard. But I have a really good support system around me. My friends are amazing. My family is amazing. My community is amazing. There's people that were sharing love and showing love throughout that whole entire time. And I still speak his name and I still carry his legacy as well as my children. So yeah, like as long as I'm alive, that's now my duty to ensure like people know his story and know who he was. It is, because energy doesn't die.
Yeah.
Is.
And it's the narrative that you got to continue, or, you know, like, or the kids or his family, because a lot of people start that way and the narrative is just left on that part, and that's whack, yo. Because I know a lot of people who get into an accident who are addicts right now because they got into an accident, right?
Car accidents, work,
and they just
slip and fall,
and it's just like, yo, why?
Anything,
yeah, man.
Pain, ailments. Like, people really don't think people walk around here with conditions that just you can't see, and that's a real thing. So people be in pain, even what that can do, you know, to people, and why they turn, you know, to pain medication or prescribed pain medication, especially when you put it on disproportionately marginalized folks in the healthcare system.
Right.
So, you know. And
don't show us how to, like, teach us a whole bunch of stuff about, like, how good doctors are, but don't let us explain exactly what's, like, going on with us, you know? Like, for us, we'll, for instance, oh, does your head hurt? Does your ears hurt? They don't be like, what do you actually feel inside? Does it feel like behind your right eye? Is like, you know, they don't go into detail. They're more like, is your head hurt? Oh, it's your head? Okay, this is a little
prescribed.
It's
you know, for years,
game.
you know
it's
what I'm saying?
It's a numbers game.
So like, you don't understand how to like really express your pain. You know what I mean? Because there's so many other ways for us to take care of pain, and like, a lot of us are stuck because we can only afford the quick fix.
However,
right, which is the prescribed shit they're giving us.
That, yes, but at the same time, I want to make it a point to say that that's why a lot of people are turning to holistic.
Yeah, thank God.
Medicine,
thank
and
God, yo.
Root work and
tree
herbs
medicine,
and even psychedelics.
Yeah, psychedelics.
It's like just
ayahuasca.
trying to figure out what are ways that they can heal themselves from a natural perspective as opposed to a chemical.
But they don't want that. And that's
I mean,
because why?
Of course.
They're going to lose money.
Of course.
So,
of course.
Yeah,
but that's why we have to educate ourselves, you know? Like,
yeah.
obviously.
And that's my way. Yeah.
But then also educate the masses. Like, I literally wrote a poem today like in my house about what I feel like it feels like to be an artist. You know, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, and what I feel like the industry kind of puts us in this machine to do. And it's like, I feel like we are in a whole bunch of systems. It looks like that in so much. Healthcare, entertainment, corporate, education, prison, industrial system. Like, they all mimic each other if you think about it.
They do.
And it's strategic as all hell. So I feel like people who have the knowledge and are able to teach, because not everybody is able to teach what they learn, right? But if you are one of those people who can, you should. Well, I don't want to tell anybody what they should do, but maybe not. But
just lead by example, man. That's all you need to do. Teaching.
Just consider teaching if you know, and you know, sharing that knowledge, because that is the power. I mean, we've been disconnected from our history and everything like that. So
those are the kids from my program rapping. That's
so dope. I thought it was I know I can for a second. I was like, y'all about to drop Nas in the middle of this ethereal vibe.
Let's I wanted to dig into like kind of like how you do express yourself and
loudly,
unapologetically,
but aggressively,
professionally though, you know?
Shout out to loud.
But like professionally, you know what I mean? Like you use spoken word, right?
Absolutely.
And that's a great way to express yourself. And what made you turn to that?
I've always been a writer. I've been writing since I was a kid. I've been an avid reader since I was a child as well. So I feel like, you know, handwriting, cursive handwriting, penmanship has always been like something that fascinated me. So I just always came up with short stories or was writing poetry. I would rewrite lyrics to music songs that were already written and just try to rewrite the words to what they were to me at my 9-year-old, 8-year-old self.
That's dope.
You know, so I feel like I've always been like inclined to just be in the arts, to be honest. I love painting. I love photography, collage work. I make candles. I make bath salts, teas, tinctures, Shea body butters, like natural oils and things like that. Like, I do all that stuff. So I feel like, you know, it translating over to, or I should say me taking the stance on being like, okay, poetry is going to be the thing. I don't even think it was like really a choice. I feel like it was just, it just happened. It was organic. I was disconnected from tapping into my creative side and my imagination for a long time. What we don't talk about as women when we have children, sometimes we can like lose our sense of identity in being mother and not remembering that we're also a person and a human too. So I think for a while, like, I just concentrated on the day-to-day, the responsibilities of making sure I go to school, get these degrees, work these jobs, get this money, take care of my kids. And in 2016, 2017, you know, I got immersed back into the scene. I dated someone who was also a really dope creative who did explored a whole bunch of different mediums. And I think that helped introduce me back. And then I became their manager and was like circling this, like doing all these shows with them. And I just was like, started to host an open mic at Dudley Cafe with my team.
Dudley Cafe, wow.
Dudley Cafe. Shout out to Quasi, Cristal, Desiree, Curtis, Chanel, Tim, Shelly, Bipla, all of the crew. We were doing open mics and they had asked me to host. And at the time I was like, no, I am outreach. Like, I'm going to bring the people in. I will be at all the events, passing out the flyers. I don't want to host. And they were like, now you kind of have to, because, you know, the host that we had an emergency family situation and had to step down for a second. And they were just like, you're up next. And I'm like, no. And I was nervous. And I appreciate that you spoke about your drinking on the show. because I too used to do the same thing to feel comfortable. And I don't think I said anything wild or inappropriate, but the fact that I would go home and not remember what I was saying or not recall like all of the night scared the shit out of me, because I'm like, I'm supposed to be
tomorrow.
congregating this energy and this vibe and like hosting this type of frequency, and I'm all fucked up. That's not it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even centered with self. So once I realized that the alcohol was a crutch, I had to really stand there and really actually host. Wow. And for me. And I was like, nah, I can't do this. Like, I need to be sober doing it. And then I started like poets would come through and artists would come through, and I'd be like, yo, so you gonna do something tonight? And they'd be like, yo, Amanda, I'm just trying to chill. And I'd be like, nah, like do something. And one day somebody had said to me, yo, like you be telling everybody to go on the mic, but you don't spit nothing. We know you right, but you don't spit nothing. And that really was like one of the, and let me not forget, Matt Gannum, Didi Delgado, Nava the Butterfly, Jadi, Free, D Ruff, Risha G, Matt Parker, all of them. They inspired me to also jump on the mic, because the ways in which that these people performed was like you were there. Like the emotion, the hand gestures, the writing, like they were just like bam, bam, bam. Matt Gannum actually helped mend my relationship with my mother, because he is sober, and he used to be, dealing with addiction. And he would write about the times that he was strung out or dealing with the demons that were the addiction. Yeah. And he would talk about it. And it was the first time ever I had ever heard somebody talk about addiction from the addict's perspective. And that right there mended me and my mom's relationship so much.
Wow.
Like I'm a kid. So I'm like, man, you my mom, you supposed to be doing right by me. I never thought of her as a person until he humanized her to me. And I got to see her outside of my mom, and that right there inspired the fuck out of me. I was like, I have to do this. And then I went up there and my poems were trash, because I was out of seasoned and I just wasn't in tune with who I was as an artist and what I really wanted to communicate. Once I got up there, I felt like I was taking on other people's artistry or other people's styles.
That's how it starts, though.
I know, but
it does.
Ew.
It's okay. It's like when you start growing your locks, you're like, oh. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God.
Yo! And then you're looking at everybody else is like, why don't mine look like that?
And mine, I'm like, damn, mine are still like all lumpy and stuff, but I can see the beauty coming in the other ones. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see. And this part, the beauty and like understanding the growing of this is like, yo, you have to understand that everything starts ugly. It's not like because you don't even understand. think about when babies are born. They don't come out looking cute. They're like all squished up, like right? So like everything starts really ugly, but you have to understand that like there's so much beauty in that ugly. Like, you know what I mean? The dirt that you think is mud or whatever. Like,
do you also think time plays a key in that? Like over time, you start to see more beauty in the thing that's so.
Of course,
ugly.
Because why? Because a flower needs to grow.
Yeah.
At first it's just like fucking bloop. You're like, damn, what the fuck is that? Like, I planted a seed.
Yo, please don't even talk about that, because I have 232 plants in my house. The frustration of people and their patience with
allegedly
plants. No, seriously. I'd be like, yo, you can't expect to plant the seed and it grow
you gotta
instantaneously.
Wait.
That's not how this works.
Like, unless you're growing shrooms, there is some.
Yeah, those are quick.
There is some things that grow pretty nice, and like there's these flowers. There's this tree in Dominican Republic. I don't know what it is, but like the leaves fall off every day and grow back. These flowers, they grow,
so there's a Jericho Rose.
Like,
Jericho Rose does that too. It literally is like the resurrection flower. So like as soon as it gets water, it opens up, and once there's no water, it closes back up. But it is a resurrection flower. can die and regrow, even if it's what you call die. What is die, right?
Is it actually dying or is it hibernating? Or
it says resurrection,
or
meaning
preserving,
like
or
no
preserving.
you could have it for years just chilling in the closet, mad dried up, and as soon as you water it, it's like, oh.
Damn, that's
pretty cool.
We should look into that, bro. It sounds like some like Wolverine shit.
Yep, that's my boy.
Jericho Rose.
Jericho Rose.
Yeah, those who know. Those who know.
And those who don't know, like me,
get familiar.
Now know.
Yeah, use it for rituals. I'm telling you, money.
How far has spoken word taken you? Like, what's the distance?
I think I don't know. I know that sounds crazy to say, but like I don't know. I'm still on the journey, so I couldn't even name to you where, you know, where I think it's gonna take me, but I know where it has taken me.
No, that's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, you said where it has? Yeah, I thought you said where it's going to.
No,
I have no idea. Hopefully global. Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
I have just had really dope opportunities to be able to perform spoken word poetry everywhere and anywhere that you can think of. Like I have performed in offices, dental offices, classrooms, TED Talk, oh my gosh, I can't even name everywhere right now. Museums, just everywhere. Like, I don't think I've really stopped to really put like that into perspective either. I was just like on Boston Calling stage with Brandy Blaze.
Yeah. Oh, she does big things though. She does a lot of big things. She's
crazy.
Everywhere. She's killing.
Crazy.
All the women. Listen to me. All the women in hip hop in Boston area or Massachusetts, they're fucking. They've been bodying it for years. Like Cake Swag, she's been bodying shit for years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Red
Shade. I don't want to talk about Red Shade because she's fire. Oompa.
Oh, that. Brandy Blaze.
Brandy Blaze got bars.
Dutch Rebel.
And the new one, and the new one's coming up. You know,
Rayel.
Rayel.
Rayel is fire.
Rachel. She is dope.
Rayel is dope.
Yes.
I gotta get hit then.
Yeah, man. I shot a video. She took me to Maine to shoot a video for her. It was amazing. It was this big ass like barn with like mad tools in it, and she was like in a pimp coat. It was really cool.
Yo, Monavelli. Kiwi fruit.
Yes, I've heard of her.
Key's crazy.
Shells. Billy Dean Thomas, bro. Billy Dean is crazy.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah, I never heard of Billy Dean Thomas.
You gotta get familiar.
I have to tune in with that. We'll tune in with that one.
Yamin Regret is really dope. There's just so many really dope rappers.
There's a lot of them.
Here.
There's so many of them.
Like non-binary, queer, all of the things. Like y'all are really missing out. Like y'all really should be getting familiar.
My first
Deadass.
My first understanding of like non-binary was because I had a client who was non-binary and their artist name was their number or like it was like AB something.
Okay.
You know, it was a binary number.
But okay.
It was a binary
That's
number.
fire.
That was the
you don't
artist
remember
name.
what it is?
I don't remember, man.
Damn.
It's in my hard drive. It's still
send it to me
when
you get a chance.
They were super secretive or like because like transgender or whatever. I think it was transgender, but something of that nature that wasn't like seen every day yet. You know what I mean? And so like I didn't have an understanding of what non-binary meant or transgender or none of that. And so like the explanation to me was like, oh, okay. Like I'm like, yeah, but like we're human. Right? They're human. Right? I don't care. Just like, you know what I mean? They have a beautiful voice, man. Beautiful voice. I don't know where they went, but that was an old studio I used to be at. But that's the first interaction with anyone that said like even the word non-binary for me to be like, oh, what's non-binary mean? You know?
I love that.
Yeah,
I think you know, like we just got to keep our eyes and ears open. There's a lot of dope people, just talent everywhere. You know what I mean? And I think that it is our due diligence to stay, in touch with the streets. Like people be like, oh, I keep my ear in the streets, but it's like, are you in the streets?
Boston can be amazing if we all connect everyone from Massachusetts. You know what I mean? Look at New York. That's why New York is so ill. They support their own. It's like, that's why. People from here go over there just because, or LA. Why? They stick to their people. They support the locals. They're too stubborn over here. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, I know him from, he ain't, like, no. Let's build.
Let's embrace each other.
Yeah, man.
It's
That's what we're missing.
It's happening slowly. I feel like
little by little, but it's taking
I feel
too
like
long.
I feel like it's starting with Boston too. Like Boston's embracing their artists a lot more, and like putting everybody on a pedestal.
I also think
everybody.
I also think it's the people that respect each other, the ones that are really trying to do it, not the people that are just saying that they're trying to do it. Because there's difference. There's
weekend rappers and there's real.
But there's some real incredible rappers like out there that are like probably going to be the next ones to really go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think VM Duran did a great job at that and expressing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not opening the gates, but having a better that anyone can make it.
What about
you don't have
Jordan
to be
Lucas? You know what I mean? Like he's a.
Yeah, but
Jordan, he does shit with like Eminem, like
right.
He's
what about Token?
But like, does he rep Boston like that? I mean, maybe he does.
Yeah,
they do. I want to play devil. I want to play not devil's advocate, but I want to look at the other side of the coin of that.
I feel like all the Boston people do,
But play opposition. It's like
Massachusetts people do. Anyway.
But whose responsibility is it to bring people like? It's like a really thin line between like being like, oh, okay, we see these people and we anticipate, or maybe the expectation is, they're gonna do these things. It's like, I am not on that level right now, right? I have no idea what that looks like, what that works like. I have some idea, but I don't have the whole picture.
Yeah.
And what we have to understand is that people have to place themselves in position to be able to bring other folks with them too. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're still building, you're still building. Like, Joyner's hot as hell, so is Stiz, so is Bia. All of them are fire.
Everybody's blowing up.
Everybody is blowing up. Term.
Rex.
All of these people, right? But like, is it their responsibility to reach back? Yeah, absolutely. Is it their opportunity? Is it their duty to reach back and be like, come on?
It isn't. They're leading by example. They're leading by example. They're showing people, look what I did, right? Look where I came from. It is possible. It's no one's responsibility to take you to go drink the water. They're showing you that there is water because they're drinking it. You're like, oh shit, there's water. They're like, yeah, you're gonna find it yourself though.
But I'm also
I'm not talking about the we want their support like that. I feel like they should rep it more and maybe like start their own big stuff over here and make people want to come over here.
And all of that you're talking about is like infrastructure, right? Yeah. And again, it takes money to bring something like that to the fold here. We have a couple shout out to Expose TV. They have a studio warehouse, right?
Yeah,
there's a couple other spaces that have a space where we could do, it's a one-stop shop.
Support your local
But
artists,
imagine if you had all that, like in one space where people can come, and also people from out of town that can come, artists that you can sit in a space and actually record it, put on some beats, and everybody vibe out and somebody jump on a track. Kind of like what Cole did with Dreamville and the documentary Dreamville, where it's like you intentionally put people in a space, but again, that shit takes money, it takes time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you're busy, and I'm not caping for nobody, I'm just trying to offer another perspective where it's if you're still trying to build, it's like, how am I anticipated or expected to build and also build over here and build over here? I'm still building what the fuck is in front of me, and I think that people do rep here. As far as saying, should they do it more? I don't know. What people feel like is enough for them to do or say is on them. Like, who are we to be on the outside being like they should do it more?
It's on us to see. It's on us on how we react.
I think so too. And like, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. Man. So until you know the mechanics of like what goes behind that, I mean, I can't really say anything. I can't. I know what I want to do when I get into a position. I feel like, you know, part of artistry is opening doors, not just for yourself, but for other people, and ensuring, this is the second part, ensuring they stay open. You know what I mean? Because
is it though? Is that like, it's just like you're saying, like that's his point right now, is like saying like the reason why he's saying, oh, we should rep more this place, so like the recognition of this place can.
But
get
if there ain't no platform for us to be on, what's there to rep? Think about space. We gotta perform. We gotta market. We gotta do promo. We gotta do radio interviews. We gotta do journal article interviews.
The most.
All of the things, right? All of the things. Mm-hmm. Where are we gonna do all that?
We could. But
what platforms do we have here that could keep us doing that? Like, think about it.
Well, this is what we got. Like, I feel like we should build, you know, that type of shit, that type of thing where it's like, I don't need to leave my state to have my music heard. I'm right here, Boston. People know Boston. What? Sports, whatever, right? Not music, yeah, some, but you know, it could be. It's getting there though. It's building. It is building, like you said.
And anything is like progress. Sometimes
takes time,
is slow,
yeah,
right? Sometimes, right? Changes can be slow. At the same time, I feel like there's a bigger conversation and all that. I mean, half the time people are leaving too because the market rates for rent is nuts. So, you know, and until we address some of like the housing issues and like giving people an opportunity to stay and be sustainable here and be able to afford it here, then we can have a bigger conversation of what it looks like to actually go in on space with each other. Because there's a lot of things we could address with a lot of different things. Somebody could buy a fucking building tomorrow and wipe out the fucking bottom floor and turn that shit into different rooms where there's a studio, there's, you know.
Well, it's happening all the time.
There's this, and then on top of it, it's fucking apartment buildings where people can fucking live. And now you have like artists living down the hall from each other. And
it's happening all the time. It's just not affordable.
So that's my point. It's like we got to think about like infrastructure, what that looks like. What does it look like to actually be unified and put our dollars into a space and spaces to have platforms for also other artists to come and perform on? Because not everybody can sell out the Paris Rock or the Sinclair or.
I like the more intimate shows too, because like you get to really like be face to face with the artists and really see what they're about. On a cheap mic, you know what I mean, in a little club, you know what I mean. I like that feeling, yo.
Nah, that's a real.
And I'm not saying that the what do you call it? The Middle East is a cheap club or anything, but that heart, like that griminess of that club, I love that shit. You know what I mean? Like you walk in there, you just feel hip hop as soon as you walk in. Like fuck, you know what I mean? Every single time there's a show there like that, I'm like you always feel it. And I love it. The energy there needs to stay there. You know what I mean?
It's true.
I wanted to talk to you about like this law that they passed about like discrimination for businesses against LGBTQ community. Did you hear about this? Yeah, did you hear this?
QI community. The law of the bathrooms?
No, about like discriminating about like people aren't. They can like say we don't want to serve you. You can't come here.
Wait, what?
Is that something that's true? I don't know. I've been hearing people talk about that. That's why.
I don't know.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. I heard about the bathrooms and like how they're wilding in the South as usual.
About people like transgenders going into the other bathroom and shit like that.
Yeah,
but no, that's not what I'm talking about.
I don't know what law you're referring to as far as like refusal of service. Where's that at? What state is that at?
I saw it. Someone had a picture of it and showed me. I can show you right now if you want. That's
wild.
Yeah, I can show you, but.
What?
Yeah, I could be completely wrong. You know what I mean? Let's see. The Supreme Court. Yeah, look.
Excuse me.
The Supreme Court has ruled that businesses can discriminate against LGBTQ Americans.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's Google that.
Yo,
because it was just a picture with like the heading.
Yeah,
but that doesn't.
What do you think about if something like that happened? You think like that? I think that'd be wild. I keep telling people that wouldn't affect just them. It'd affect the people that are around those people. You know, because like who's gonna stand for that? You know, if that's true. And the other thing is too, like, who's to say who's like part of that group unless they're saying they are. Some people are like show that they're part of something, but doesn't mean that they're part of the group. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're wearing certain things or acting a certain way, like there's things like that. So for me, it's like that's a scary thing if it's true. But I mean,
legit, man. Yeah. Supreme Court rules businesses can discriminate against gay people.
You know, like who's to say you're gay? Who's to say you're not gay? Like that's crazy. Now they can just do it to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're gay, get out. I don't want you here.
So
like,
I mean,
is that how that works?
You could be like,
is that how that
black,
works?
I don't want you here.
It's for
you're white. You know?
That's what I'm saying.
It's for same sex. It's for certain businesses to refuse to provide services for same-sex weddings. They have a license basically to discriminate now because they ruled it, and then that's in Colorado.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
Fuck Colorado.
There's
so much weed smoke in there that this should be all peaceful. It's weird.
I just hope people like start to like really fucking wake the fuck up.
Yeah, man.
Because now we're also getting like scientific cloned food in like all restaurants.
Yeah, man. It's just everything. It's everything. There's so much happening. So much happening.
Plant-based, guys. Plant-based.
Funny things are happening. Funny things are happening. All right, let's get to the next segment of the show. Sex, drugs, and other things. Shout out Big Blizz. And this is more like just tell the truth about one of them, you know?
Okay.
So today,
just tell the truth. The thing you've been doing the whole entire time you've been here. Great.
Exactly. Yes.
That's not hard.
No, like share a truth or perspective about one of them that can help someone that maybe is dealing with something, or you know, something fun about something that you did.
Okay.
You know.
Shoot. What's
sex,
the topic?
Sex, drugs, or other things. I say let's do, because we were talking about addiction and stuff. Let's pick drugs.
Okay.
What's the truth about a drug of experience that you went through that maybe changed your life in a way that either you didn't do that drug again, or you're like, okay, this is what I want to keep doing because it's helping me, or I don't know. I know it's a tough one.
So, damn, where do I start? I guess I would start at like childhood. So like I never did like anything where I would have to like consume drugs by like my nose, because I just felt like that was my parents' choice of drugs. So it always scared the shit out of me because I just didn't want to become addicted to it. So I always stayed away from stuff like that. I never, like I was really scared until I want to say like 13. I started getting I got introduced to weed, which was really young, and started smoking. And I don't think the first time I ever did anything outside of weed was when I was 17 years old, 18, going on 18 years old. My mom had gotten locked up for a whole year when I was 17. And I was dating this other person who dabbled in ecstasy and liquid G at the time.
What the fuck is liquid G?
Liquid G?
Yo.
Like a capsule thing?
No, I don't know what liquid
It was
G
it was like a liquid. I don't know. I never did that because that shit like deathly scared me too, because I saw people like
G is now.
freaked out.
I'm 2G.
Right. So I got introduced to like ecstasy for the first time, and I almost like, I feel like I was addicted. I don't want to say I was almost. I was. Like, I was doing it every single day. I leaned on it super heavy because it was just like an experience. Like, I had never experienced anything like that. And it also allowed me to kind of like forget my reality.
Those kind of drugs.
It made you feel good.
That's it. Right? That's all it did. And it was like,
good.
Oh, nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, I'm like happy. Pushing down the trauma of my mom being locked up. And I'm now a 17-year-old taking care of a whole household by myself and never knew how to pay a bill before that. So
you were you were by yourself? Or
Yeah, I was by myself. Like
did you have to take care of siblings or no?
No. I just was by myself.
Oh, by yourself? Oh, wow.
But 17 is young.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I just went to work and, wasn't in high school at that point anymore. And basically just worked 2 jobs and was just doing ecstasy and going to work, doing ecstasy and going to work, doing ecstasy and going to work. Man. Until I realized one day I had looked at myself in the mirror. I don't know what was special about this day, but it was that day where I just didn't recognize myself. I had lost so much weight. I was really, 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 really thin, and I was starting to see the dark circles underneath my eyes.
The raccoon eyes.
Oh my gosh. And I think once I realized that, it then hit me what if my mom came home and saw me like this? She would know instantly. And that just I don't know, it's flipped something in me. But when I tell you it was really hard to get off, it was. I felt sometimes my body would trick me. I'd be smoking weed and it would low-key trick me to feel I was on ecstasy.
Yeah. So was it the pills?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel they mix other stuff in there.
Absolutely. Now that I've done it and I've done my research,
I know, but yeah,
it's definitely a whole bunch of shit.
Because if you had straight MDMA, you wouldn't fiend like that. You wouldn't want it.
Yeah, I feel it was some extra shit. And I was it was bad. And I was able to walk away from it, but it literally took a while for that portion of my mind trying or my body calling for it to go away. And it was crazy. I was yo, I don't even want this. My mind is telling me I don't want this, but something else.
My mind is telling me no.
No. Don't ever cue in R. Kelly ever.
That's R. Kelly?
Fuck.
Yes.
Yeah,
don't
bro.
ever.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
I didn't realize that. From
Remember?
Mexico.
Yeah, it's totally.
They don't have R. Kelly in Mexico.
It's totally R. Kelly. But then I did have a good experience.
Totally R. Kelly, nigga.
With I had 3 bad experiences with acid not too long after that.
Oh shit, we're going to acid now, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, but then
that was just one drug. That was all his drug.
The one good.
I opened it up like a can of worms. Sorry.
The one good time I had a trip was when I went on tour in Chicago. That was Chicago.
Did you go cold season?
No, it was the summertime.
Okay, dope.
So it was dope, but holy shit, that trip definitely opened me all the way the fuck up. I just couldn't hide anything from myself. Ego was it was definitely an ego death in that trip for sure. Absolutely.
Thank God.
And it changed my life because it allowed me to answer questions that I wasn't willing to answer.
Because you keep it true to yourself.
No, we hide.
You can't lie.
That ego shit is crazy. It will literally try to convince you you're good. So yeah, I don't know. People ask me all the time, yo, Amanda, you must do mushrooms or you must microdose. And I'm I've never done mushrooms in my life, and maybe one day, but right now, I just, I smoke some weed. I don't really drink.
I want to try and give you something if you I'm just kidding. Listen, I am on the same page with you. I wasn't a big mushroom user or LSD user, and then all of a sudden I had a special retreat with a family of mine, and we all tripped, and then it opened me up to try DMT that night, and DMT is what changed my life, and I haven't touched, I think I touched shrooms one more time after that, and I just didn't do it anymore, because I was just I'm over, I had my breakthrough. I understand that I have an ego and I need to kill it. I know now, you know what I mean? So someone just gave me chocolates today, and I was been thinking about it. I'm damn, I want to try it, but it's for what reason? I don't have an intention right now, you know what I mean? I have no intention to do any tree medicines, because for me it's not gonna help me mentally. It's gonna make me deeper in a hole that I don't need to be in, because I'm already past my past. I'm already moving forward, and my past does not define me, and everyone that sees me understands I'm a new person every day, because I let them know I am not yesterday, I am today.
Oh, some people hate when you say that. They be but it was yesterday.
I don't care.
And it's
you're not mad at me, you're mad at the situation. You're not mad at me, you're mad at the situation. You can't let go of a situation. That's your personal problem. I'm not here to help you get through that. I'm helping you by telling you that it's not a problem for me anymore. Yeah. Don't make it a problem for you. You'll be stuck in your own world.
No, listen. For me, like, respect is a real big thing, but at a certain point, I don't see you like, yo, like, you ain't even in the space. Like, it's just that type of time, and it could go either way. So I feel that, like, wholeheartedly in my spirit what you just said. Because it's like you really can't stay stuck on like where people are trying to keep you. You are different. Like, yesterday was yesterday. Now that doesn't excuse you or absolve you from accountability.
We have work to erase that past. Real talk.
And to do the work, so it doesn't absolve you. I'm just saying, like, you can't do something shitty yesterday and then today be like,
it's a new day.
It's a new day. Yeah. No, you got to take accountability and do some work in that. At the same time. Like, accountability is key. Yeah. And then it's like restorative justice after that, right? Because it's like, after you take the accountability, how do you move into the next phase of like being in community with each other or even being around each other? Because, like, let's keep it a buck. Me and you could, well, we're not going to get into a disagreement, but like we could and be like, yo, I'm distancing myself, like, fuck. And then we end up at the same damn event. Like, what sense does that make? It's like, nah, we got accountability, say what you did, whatever. Do what you and say. Like, and do what you say. And then, like, how do we work through this?
Communication.
I give credit to people who are willing to do the work with me and sit in uncomfortable moments when they've wronged me or whatever, or even if I've wronged them, I'm willing to sit with you through that whole process. Like, how we gonna work through this together? Because if I love you and you mean something to me, it's not a disposable moment. At the same time, like, not everybody is willing to take accountability, never mind be restorative. They want to kind of harbor whatever those feelings are. And it's like, nah, how are we moving through it?
Yeah, that's why I'm still in my relationship, because of that reason. Like, we've learned to take accountability and not take offense and sit down and talk about it. I struggle with sitting down and talking about it because...
Is it mostly because you're in the wrong?
No, it's not about being wrong or right. No. I just struggle with, like, I'm getting better. I'm struggling with, like, I'm not being present, but like giving more while I'm present, not just taking in, giving more, but not like giving like something, like more like experience or like talking more to my significant other, because I feel like I'm not doing that enough. I'm talking to her when it's convenient for me to talk to her, but I think I should be talking to her a lot more, because I might, today might be the last day I have her. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So and there's a lot of things I want to say, and there's a lot of work that me and her are doing. Like, the other day we're talking about tangible things, which is a whole nother episode, because we're running out of time. But yo, I want to thank you for being here. I mean, like your words and like your story, your experiences, everything you've been through, and everything you said to us. Checking me a couple times was dope. I like that the growth is happening not just with you, like you're exuberating that shit to everybody. You know what I mean? So
that's beautiful. I hope
man.
so.
Yeah.
That's
you are.
That's the purpose.
You are. I'm glad to see you doing like the hosting stuff and doing like that listening thing. It was really deep. I actually was listening, and for me, that's what I noticed the most. Is like, yo, I never been to something like this. I'm not used to sitting in the front row either, and but yeah, like shit like that, yo. I'm just
shout out my guy Sai.
Yeah, man. Shout out Sai. He had an ill listening party.
Shout out E Double for being in the building.
Yeah, E Double said he's gonna come on the show too.
That was fire.
And so did Sai. Sai said he's gonna come on the show too. So we gonna get him.
Ran on the beat, set that up.
Yeah.
Those are my guys. Like, that was dope. Shout out to Bedlam.
Wallace.
Like, that was fire. Like,
Wally.
Just putting all of that together for us at his spot was really, really dope. I didn't know that they wanted me to moderate until like literally a week before, maybe. And I was just like, for real? But it's because like they're real dope dope people, and like they're really talented too, and they keep their circle real tight.
Yeah, they do.
So to be able to be invited in that and be a part of that was really, really dope. And also talk to him on a more personal level. I don't think a lot of people know him, and he's really dope. He got a lot of knowledge and a lot of energy. Shea,
yeah.
He got a lot of gems to share for real, and the music he's making is not only an ode to like hip hop, I feel like, because he mixes and mingles with lots of different beats, but it's also a message of empowerment and an inspiration to all black folk.
Yeah,
like
he did. I heard
there's not a lot of
like
people rapping in that type of way, in that lane, and being like, yo, I'ma rap about what's real. Like, I want my people to move upward mobility, and he really means that. So that's really dope. Shout out to them for letting me moderate and be in the building.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of weed smoke in that bitch. But it was really dope. And shout out, damn, I'ma forget her name. I'm so sorry. The co-host on the host on the Franchise Report. What is her name? Why am I blanking out on her name? Yo, shout out to you for being in the building. She came up to me after and said some real shit, so I appreciate that. I just wanted to shout her out. I'm sorry, I will tag you though. I want to thank y'all for having me up here. This was really, really dope. I didn't expect to get this deep and shit. I thought we were just gonna talk about career and shit, but this was better than that, to be real.
Yeah, man, I appreciate.
You want to see
that.
the resume? Go look it up. But this is not what we get.
Yeah,
a lot
no,
of,
look,
so
all her stuff's gonna be right here.
Nah, please don't.
Know what I mean,
please don't do
right
that.
Here. Social security number, cash app, address, blood type, whatever the fuck you niggas need. Know what I mean? Kids' names, passwords. Nah. But can you put your finger right here real quick? Subscribe. Ah!
Do it.
Thank you.
Do it.
Yeah. So.
Period.
Good show.
Beautiful show.
I love y'all, world.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.